That I've chosen for now to choose different interesting topics, which I think are very interesting. And what we've chosen today is something which I've taught a number of times, and it's the concept of how our actions, how our thought, our speech, our actions, what we do can affect who we are. Often we think that I am such and such, and therefore I will behave in this way. I'm feeling angry, and therefore I am going to behave in an angry way, and I have a right to behave this way. I'm just expressing my emotion. Or I am an introvert, and therefore I'm exempt from all of these behaviors, right? We have natures. Each of us has a nature. And we kind of feel, we're also told by psychology and by society, that because of who I am, therefore these are my behaviors, my thoughts, my style of speaking, and that's all valid. Yes, you are who you are, and your thoughts, your speech, and your action are valid. But today, with this bit of Chassidus, we are going to have a discussion on how we can change actually who we are the other way around. Okay?
So this is the avoid of a person. This is why we came to this world.
Yeah.
Is it? Or
Sorry?
This is why we are in this world for.
Yes, absolutely.
Well said, Rachel.
Okay. So it's very short. It's 2 pages. It's text-based in Hebrew.
It's 1 page.
Yeah, let's do it there.
Oh yeah. Thanks very much.
Okay. It starts off, the very first paragraph is a quote from the Baal HaTanya. Okay, so if you thought you learned Tanya, I'm sorry, it's not Tanya today, but it starts with a quote from the Baal HaTanya, and then it's an explanation on what he said. Okay, so the quote from the Baal HaTanya starts off like this. Pasuk from Yeshayahu, referring to the days of Mashiach, V'loi yikonef oid moilecha. Yikonef comes from the word knaf, it's like a... It starts with a quote from Yeshayahu, a Navi speaking about Mashiach, and it says, in the times of Mashiach, Hashem, your master, will no longer hide from you. Yikonef, lo yikonef oid moilecha. The word kanaf is like a wing, a shield, and Hashem will no longer hide from us. Your master will no longer hide from you. Umavar, Kvoid Kedushas Admor HaZaken, and the Admor HaZaken, referring to the Baal HaTanya, explains, Shehalavushim mechasim ala pnimiyim, ad shelo yupur ben toiv l'rachulu. This is a fact, it's a quote, a fact, that levushim, garments, cover over the inside until you cannot tell between good and bad. Okay? This is a principle which applies at all levels. Clothing, levush, clothing, cover over pnimiyim, inside, until you cannot tell between good and bad. Yeah. This refers to physical clothing. This refers to figurative clothing. Let's explain. Okay, so you have Rosh Hashanah, the Breslov are trying to get to Ummah. And they come dressed up in t-shirts and shorts and the caps on their head. Do they look like Breslovers? Absolutely not. No. Did they get through the border of the Yordanish, right? Mm-hmm. Good. Their levushim that they put on, covered over their pnimiyim, their insides, correct?
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that it does not show what they really think?
Generally speaking, our levushim, our garments, show who we are.
That's right.
However, levushim do have the power to hide what's really going on.
It has the power.
Thank you. Okay, you've said it now. Good. Levushim have the power, thank you for clarifying, levushim have the power to cover over who you really are. Okay? Until you cannot tell what's good and what's bad.
You can work on
okay?
Right.
You can have a gluten-free dietetic cake covered in icing, and sugar-free icing, and you can have a heavy chocolate cake covered over in icing, and you do not know which is which. Okay? Levushim, coverings, can hide what's really there.
So we can use it for that.
Yeah. My father first taught me this, and he called it the fake it till you make it. And my mother came in and said, I would rather call it act it until you become it.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Well said.
Yeah. So is it faking or is it acting? Putting on levushim until it becomes you. Purim, you've generated a discussion here. Purim, you have children all coming to get dressed up. And some Rabbanim, Mashviim leaders will tell you, do not dress your children as a bandit, a robber, or whatever.
It's true.
Why?
And all that.
Because it can have an effect on their
Because a child who dresses up as a naughty guy for Purim feels that he can behave like a naughty guy on Purim. And that dressing up affects his behavior on the inside, affects his feelings and his yachas to himself. When you make a play, don't get a child to be the baddie in the play, get a puppet. If you can, It's a very sensitive thing. We don't want children to behave or dress up like negative characters for this very reason. Okay?
Very good.
So you've generated discussion here. Continuing, we are on the third line. Or maybe Beis Mishalom L'Dover. The Baal HaTanya brings two examples of this idea, how levushim can cover over who you really are. Ha'echad k'may ish shoyte b'diburim shel chachma she'yikabel michacham. There's a foolish person who says wise words that he received from a chacham. Sha'az yidmeh l'kol shul chacham gadol. It appears to everyone like he's really wise. A person gets a pre-written speech, the president gets a speechwriter, he gets up, he reads the speech, he has the screen going over there while he talks to the audience, and everyone thinks, wow, the president said so well. He didn't say so well, he has a speechwriter who went to a better, knows better than him, yeah? A foolish person can appear intelligent through speaking intelligent words, okay? The pnimiyim, the inside, is their intelligence. The levush, which is covering it over, is the words they're using, okay? A person can know very little. Their father teaches them one good mimer. They come and they teach it, and everyone thinks they know so much, right? What happens? The words can cover over who you really are on the inside. So that's the first example of you can have intelligent words covering over someone who's actually not very intelligent at all. V'habez, the second example that the Baal HaTanya brings is Mima'aseh ha'toiv la'odam ra be'etzem. You can have a good action by a very, it's horrible to say la'odam ra be'etzem, someone who's intrinsically ra, an intrinsically bad person.
There isn't really such a thing.
But it's very harsh. She'az yidmeh l'kol shu toiv be'etzem. It appears to everyone as though he's actually very good. Okay, so for example, you have somebody who's quite a nasty whatever, and they do a huge chesed, and it's all over the news, and everyone has to know what the huge chesed they did. Wow, she's so generous, she's so kind. Look how. Was it a chesed, or was it just one kind act by a cruel person? Can a not nice person do a kind act? Sure. But it's just for the looks.
Just find them behind the door what they're doing. But
It's
still a chesed. Okay, so you're already a few steps ahead.
It's like the mitzvah without the wings.
Okay, but even if they mean it, you never had someone who wasn't nice to do something wonderful.
Yeah.
So, okay, are they still a nasty person?
Yeah.
Bet. Have they done something nice? Absolutely. Are they, though, which was where you're leading to, are they still a drop nicer because of their kindness? Have they changed because of their kindness?
It can have an effect on them if they...
So can levushim, can clothing, can externals have an effect on who we are? That's today's discussion. We started off with the pasuk from Yeshaya that Hashem will no longer hide from us. Is Hashem wearing garments? There's Hashem himself, and then there's how we relate to Hashem in this world. We don't feel Hashem, we don't see Hashem. Is Hashem covering himself over by the rules of nature?
He does.
So yes, physical garments, yes, metaphorically. Our actions are garments for our nature. Our words are garments for our thoughts. And this world is a garment for Hashem.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, we're talking garments on many levels. Levushim is okay? Which we do that a lot in Chassidus. We talk about something on one level in order to understand it on another level. Okay. Okay. Umavar. Then he goes on to explain. Ki koyach nimshach belevushe machshava dibur o ma'aseh liyafos es hapnimiyim. There is a potential, a power, within the garments of our thoughts, the garment of our words, and the garments of our actions to beautify our essence, to beautify who we are. We human beings have our essence. In Tanya, in the beginning of Tanya, we explain that our neshama, the essence of our neshama has 10 koiches, 10 powers of the soul. Okay? They are Chachma, Bina, Da'as, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Yisod, Malchus. These are 10 soul powers. We know them from Sefer Ha'omer, right? Chesed, Sheba Chesed, Gevura, Sheba Chesed, right? We know these words. So these 10 soul powers, which we try to rectify during Sefer Ha'omer, each person has them in their Nefesh Elikis, in their godly soul, and also in the daily neshama, the animal soul, right? As we call it. The two sides of us both have these 10 koiches. That's who we are. Some people have a greater measure of chesed. They are very giving, benevolent, always getting in your face people. Then you have people who are very measured, gevurah people, right? Each person has different measures of pnimius, of who they really are. Different intellectual capacities, different emotional capacities. And then each person has what we, in Perek Dalet of Tanya, we speak about how every neshama also has levushim, has the garments which cover over those koiches. What are the levushim that we each have?
Our difficulties.
Our machshava, dibur, and maaseh. Our thoughts, our speech, and our action. Because although I might be, Hashem gave me koiches of this and koiches of that in my neshama, I can still choose to behave differently to my emotions. The reason why thought, speech, and behavior are called levushim is because they can be changed at any given moment. You can choose to behave this way, you can choose to behave that way. Just like you can go to your closet, you can get dressed, look in the mirror, don't like it, throw it on the bed, pull another outfit, get dressed, don't like it, throw it on the bed, throw it out, get dressed. You never went to a chasana? Teenagers have time for it. Okay. So just like a person can change their levushim, you're going to work, so you put on your fancy suit. You're going to play with your partner, your grandkids. So you put on your each role in your life might have different garments for that role. Okay, same you, wearing different things. So just like it's easy to change your clothing, it is relatively easy to change your actions. You can choose to behave this way, you can choose to behave that way, even though your inside cries differently. My inside cries free-spirited, I want to dress like a hippie. Well, too bad, I'm going to choose to dress really straight and posh. Why? I chose to. Is it me? No, it's not me, it's my levush. Okay? Just like you can choose to dress against who you are, you can choose to behave against who you are. We all understand that? Agree?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Like we can choose to behave different to who we are is a levush. Our speech, we can choose to speak differently to who we are. If we are angry, we want to shout, we can choose not to shout. Yes, it's very hard, and don't use me as an example, but I will shout. But we can choose not to.
Instinct, really.
Yes, it is.
You have to work very hard on it.
We have to
Yeah,
work.
some people have a stronger instinct for that. Some
Yeah.
people, it doesn't come to them that they have to shout.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can
So
work
the instinct
on...
is a levush.
Yes. We can work on changing... No, the instinct's not levush. There's 3 levushim. Instinct is who we are.
Yes.
There's 3 levushim. Machashava, dibur, and maaseh. Thought, speech, and action.
Very good.
We discussed action. We all agree that action is changeable.
Right.
Now we're on to speech.
Right.
Speech, we can choose what to say. It is harder. It's much harder to control your speech than it is to control your actions, which is why Shemir Saloshan is so big, right? Because it's really hard, okay? Now, Torah expects a further step from us, not just to control our actions, not just to control what we say, but we as Torah Yidden are actually expected to control our thoughts, what we think about. And the proof is, there's a mitzvah d'oraisa, lo sasuru, we say it in Shema every day. It's one of the 6 constant mitzvahs. One of the six constant mitzvahs. We're all obligated. It's a mitzvah lo sasei d'oraisa. Lo sasuru acharei levavchem yacharei nechem asher atim zoynim acharei. Do not follow your heart and your eyes, which you are led astray. You see something, it's pashnish for a yid. What do you have to do? Don't allow that thought into your head. But the thought's coming into my head. Don't allow it. How can you not allow a thought? Well, as Yidden, we are actually expected to work on it. It's not easy. We're expected to work on controlling our thoughts. How do we control our thoughts? It's a whole other topic, but we'll go into it for a few minutes and then we'll get back to this. There's 2 ways. So we established that we have our pneumonia, who we are, and then we have our thought, speech, and action, which is more external. It's an expression of our essence. Okay. If I'm angry, I'll shout. If I'm our thoughts, our words, and our actions express who we are inside. There's two ways of improving ourselves. There's two: up and down, down and up. Okay, inside out and outside in.
Right.
Before the Torah was given, the way to improve yourself was inside out. Avram Avinu wanted to makarev people. He would teach them emunah, belief in Hashem. Okay? He would teach them emunah, and from changing their insides, that would affect how they behaved. Okay?
Like learning Tanya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Post Matan Torah, we have 613 mitzvahs to do, whether we feel like it or not.
Oh, wow.
Often, we don't feel like doing Torah and mitzvahs. So, yes, we do want to get to a space of V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha, right? We want to get to a space es Hashem Elokecha Tira, right? We want to get to a space of loving and fearing Hashem. We want to get to a space where our insides and outsides match, where we're comfortable in our clothing.
I find nowadays the outside towards the inside is not working so well.
Okay, let's talk about this. Wait. So, beforehand, the Seder was first emunah, and that's going to change you. Now, post Matan Torah, the Seder is you have 613 mitzvahs, whether you're up to it or not, whether it's a bad day or a good day, whether you work on the wrong side of bed or the right side of bed, you have to do these 613 no matter what's going on in your life. Now, Chassidus spends a lot of time working on the inside out, because it's very hard to work on the outside in.
Yeah.
So although as Jews, as Yidden, we all expected to do 630 mitzvahs, whether we're feeling like it or not, we're working from outside in, we are behaving in a way that affects us. Now, Chassidus says, okay, but let me help you along the other way as well, so you can match up. Which is why people like to learn Chassidus.
Yes.
Because it doesn't always work. You come to Yom Tov, and everyone's dancing, it's very exciting, and you try to go along with them, but it's just the action. You're not feeling it inside, and it hurts you that you're not feeling it inside. So Chassidus says, okay, I'll help you along. Come learn about the Yom Tov, so that by the time you get to shul, everyone going like this, you will feel it.
Right.
Okay? But the Yiddishkeit, after the Torah, is you do the mitzvahs whether you like it or not. Yes, we have help, which we can work from inside out still. We can still learn.
What happens when someone just can't bring themselves to do the mitzvah?
Which is why we have
So they have to do the inside. They have to. Is
Well,
that a
you can't
sign
bring
that they
yourself-
need to do the inside out a little bit?
We all have to do both ways, yeah? We all have to do both ways. Am I not making any sense? Am I not being clear?
You're making a lot of
Yes,
sense,
yes.
but
Well, that's why, I mean, what's going on today with so many children or even adults going off is because there's nothing on the inside
That's
to make
what I
them to
mean.
do the
That's
Which is
what
mitzvahs.
why we learn Chassidus, which is why you come to Tanya
Yeah,
for 4
doing the
years.
mitzvahs, going to the
Okay,
Yeah.
this
And
is
they just
why,
don't do it.
although post Matan Torah we're obligated to do mitzvahs whether we feel it or don't feel it, our generation, Dafka, we had the Baal Shem Tov 300 years ago for a reason. Chassidish life sprouted forth for a reason. Because you need the Pneumius HaTorah.
Vekas.
300 years ago, Baal Shem Tov introduced more than 300 already now, right?
Yeah.
You need all this understanding, the meaning, the insight.
Oh.
Otherwise,
I think these people down with them. Right.
Yeah.
Just so
some people don't even realize when they're being loud and positive.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, should we continue?
Yes, please.
So we're doing something on.
It's such a.
Sorry, we're doing something. We're not doing Tanya today.
You know, you never
I'm
think
sorry, we're not
about
doing
it.
Tanya. I've chosen to take different interesting topics which speak to me very much, which I would like to share with you. We did on Yom Tov, the Yom Tov topics. I found that very successful, and therefore I've decided instead of doing Tanya to do other things. At the end of this year, the Wednesday Tanya group will decide whether we're going back to starting Tanya again or whether we're continuing doing different interesting topics, and that will leave for 5 minutes to 1 o'clock to decide that. Okay? Good.
And our topic today
Is fake it till you make it or act it till you become it, how our levushim, how our thought, speech and action affect who we are, meaning our koiches hanefesh. So here we are. We've all agreed that our actions, that we can choose our actions. Okay? we've all agreed that we can choose our words even though it's much harder. Shmiras HaLashon is much harder than Shmiras HaTorah in some ways. Yeah, keeping mitzvahs. It is harder to control our words because they come quicker. Okay? They are a more pneumistic lavush. Then there is thought, and we said that as Torah Yidden, we are expected to control our thoughts. And the proof that as Torah Yidden we're expected to control our thoughts is the fact that we have a mitzvah lo sasei d'oraisa, of not to follow your heart and your eyes astray. We say it in Shema every day, lo sasuru achrei levavchem achrei einechem. Okay? So you see something which is pasnished for a Yid. You have a biblical Torah obligation not to contemplate it in your mind as much as you want to, and this applies to women as well. You want to not think, you attempted to think about what you saw, read, heard, whatever. You have a biblical obligation to push it out of your head. How do you push it out of your head? So let me tell you something. The door of your mind is a muscle, okay? And not a physical muscle, don't worry.
Yeah.
The door of your mind is a muscle. You exercise it, it's strong. You don't exercise it, it's weak. We are women, we all know what happens. Our mind is a muscle. The more we exercise the discretion of thought, the more powerful our control of our thoughts will be. The less we exercise discretion in our thoughts, the less powerful our control will be. But we all, like God, gifted the muscle of control of our thoughts. Okay?
Yes.
There was a
So we have that muscle, we have the koiches.
We have the strength of
We have the door, we have
in
the
our
door.
generation
Yeah.
of instantaneous everything and flash,
Yeah.
our muscles are
Very weak.
our minds flitter like this. You're talking to somebody, you're not talking to them. Concentration span in school is less than
Yes.
4 minutes.
What?
You talk to a student and their mind is elsewhere. I can never teach a shir, besides for very few people who I've taught, and amazing, but most people that come to a shir cannot, and for yourself you'll know, cannot concentrate for the entire shir. It's not possible.
Not possible.
Because our minds are not trained.
And that's very interesting. Like
There are few people whose minds are trained, and I'm very impressed with that a person can train their mind like that. Okay, so yes, it is a muscle that needs to be worked on. So there was a chassid who complained that he has trouble controlling his thoughts, and he knows that Torah expects us to control our thoughts. So he asked his teacher, the Baal HaTanya, what should he do? And the Baal HaTanya sent him to another chassid, and I forget the name of the chassid he sent him to. And he came, and it was the middle of the night, and it was freezing in the Russian winter, and he came banging on the door, and he saw the light inside, and he saw the man learning inside, and he's banging, and the guy doesn't respond.
Wow.
And the chassid's infuriated, angry at his friend. Why are you not responding? I'm banging on your door, respond to me. And he's waiting there, and it's getting colder, and he's waiting. Finally, after a number of hours, the chassid comes and opens the door. Come in, let me offer you a tea. Here's the fireplace. And he said, "How come you didn't let me in all night? I'm freezing out here."
He was engrossed.
And the man said, "Tell me, what did you come to learn from me?" He said, I came to ask you a question from the Baal HaTanya, and I asked him, how can I control my thoughts? And my thoughts come at me. I can't not let my thoughts in. He said, what do you mean? You close the door. I don't let you in. Don't let your thoughts in. Shine. I'll translate. And he taught it to me in the first moment. I'll translate it for us today.
So when the phone's ringing,
Actually,
Today, translate this story of the Baal HaTanya and his chassid and him not being let in, and that's the idea of not letting in your thoughts. Let's translate it for today. What does that mean for us to control our thoughts? I don't know why I got stuck on this, but okay. So what does it mean for us today? We have telemarketers, right? And you have salespeople who come knocking at your door. Not so popular with the age of social media, but you used to have people come knocking at your door to sell you. So we all know what I'm talking about, yeah?
yeah.
Good. You have someone coming to knock on your door. He wants to sell you whatever. You're not interested. You know you're not interested before he even comes in. Okay? Good. He knocks on your door. You let him into your living room. You discuss with him back and forth all his merchandise. And you say to him, no thank you. What's he going to do?
Try again.
He'll push. Sure he'll push. Why?
because you listen.
Because look how much Pesach you gave him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Eventually you say no and he has to leave your house. Will he come back to your house?
Yeah.
He might try again,
Yeah,
yeah.
he'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay? Good. If you allow a thought in and you entertain that thought, he will be back. Because you let him in.
Power to it. It's gonna
You
be power.
entertained him. Okay?
Well, there is that
I thought-
initial that it does.
Wait. A thought, sorry.
Wait.
Sorry. A thought comes to your door. We're gonna address that in a minute. A thought comes to your door. Salesperson comes to your door, knocking on your door, and he comes in. And you talk to him at the front door and you discuss, will he come back?
Yes.
Yes, because you spoke to him at the front door. Will he come back as much as if you entertained him in your living room and gave him coffee?
Yeah.
Not as
No.
much, but he'll still come back. Good. The thought comes to your door, the
The salesperson.
salesperson comes to your door, and you shout at him and you give him a... Will he come back?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, he will,
Yeah.
because you gave him negative attention. Have you ever experienced that?
Like the missionaries.
That pestering thing,
Oh, the
and
missionaries.
yes, they all come
Yeah,
back.
no,
We were told growing up, but there was a few missionaries in Melbourne who were trying to get into the community. We were told don't answer them being tov l'ra, because even if you shout at them, they get funding for their branch, depending on how they engage with even negative engagement. So you have a salesperson coming to your door, don't even shout at them. What do you do if a salesperson comes to your door?
Just
Just
turn
turn
away.
away.
Just turn away.
Pretend you're not
Just
home.
turn away.
Don't even answer the door. If you don't even answer the door, there's no one home. There's no one to bother with. They can't even get you to anything. Okay? Fine. Thoughts come at us. We are human beings. We do not control the thoughts that come at us. Thoughts will enter your mind. As a yid, you are not held responsible for the thoughts that enter your mind because you see them. You are held responsible for the thoughts that you entertain.
Wow.
So thoughts will come at you, and the lashon is doichef b'shtei yadayim, push them away with two hands. And what that means is, what it practically for us is, switch the radio station. Your thoughts are thinking about something. But for some people, most of us, we need that step of identifying that it's bad. If you don't know that at the time, tell a salesperson at your door, right?
Right.
So you have to say, I know you're Yitzhara.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, some people we do need to do that. But sometimes you've already gone through that, you already know it's Yitzhara. So as soon as you have a thought which you do not want to entertain, the only way to do it, your mind's always busy, you cannot have an empty mind really. I mean, some people can, I can't.
Sometimes you don't even remember the initial.
So what? So it's
and
better to start
So
singing
as soon
a
as you
song?
acknowledge what it is, as soon as you
Yeah.
realise this is a forbidden thought, this is a Yitzhara
Sometimes you're not
thought,
sure. Sometimes it's like I haven't been feeling right like for a few hours. Something. I must have
am I
entertained
thinking bad about
something.
myself?
Yes, what
am I
it
angry
is.
at myself? Am I thinking
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
other people? Negative thoughts and forbidden thoughts.
Yeah.
These thoughts, it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm not saying you'll all be able to go behind the shear and control your thoughts. It's a muscle.
It's hard
You go to a shear. They talk to the physiotherapist class, and they teach you how to control your muscles. Right? Are you gonna have perfect muscles the next day?
No.
No. Okay. Let's talk about it.
So, okay, sorry. So the thoughts are really from the Eibishter, the original thoughts that come into your head. Where do they come from? Is it the person on a higher level, is going to have like a chila, better thoughts? It's something
Not
to work
necessarily.
on? Not
Me-
Maybe
necessarily.
someone spoke to you. or something.
Actually, they're saying that they say that people on moment like even have worse thoughts.
Worse
Misha
thoughts,
Yes.
Godel
Glenn
Mechaberoi, Yitzroi Godel Mimenu. Whoever is greater than the other person has a greater Yetzer Hara.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that person on the greater
stop
level might have a greater Yetzer Hara, but might also have much stronger muscles
Sure, yes,
that
sure,
before it
definitely.
even comes into
Develop-
conscious thought, they've sent it away.
Yes. But
You know?
machshavas come from Hashem.
Machshavas come from a few things. It's hashgacha pratis, what we encounter in our lives.
Yes.
If you happen to pass by something and you saw it, it's not your fault. Okay? If someone speaks to you and you hear something, it's not your fault always. We do not choose our circumstances. We do not choose what comes at us. Hashem throws these fastballs at us, yeah, from Hashem. At the same time, we have to be very active in what we choose to expose ourselves to, because if I choose not to get a filter on my internet, and then I saw something, and now that thought is pestering me and making me feel sick, well, hello, why didn't you get a filter on the internet? You wouldn't have had that. So now you created yourself a problem. You know? So was that Hashgacha Pratis? Well, yeah, post-fact is Hashgacha Pratis. But before that, it's Bechira. Choose to get a filter on the internet.
So we can make certain fences. to help us.
Absolutely, we
This
have
is
to.
Jewish guy.
Our time
Friends
ba'atzmacha.
who won't talk.
Everything that happened is
Yes.
Hashem. When someone
But
does us
here-
bad, when someone
Yeah.
does us bad, we are angry, upset, hurt, whatever else. The correct way to go about it, it's not easy. It's an avodah, yeah? It takes a long time of working on it until you get there. But the avoida is called hard work, yeah? The avoida is to acknowledge that this hurt was predestined to come to me from Hashem.
Yeah.
No, this person was the shliach, never they have to be a negative shliach. I feel bad for them. But the hurt was supposed to come my way. It's not easy to reach that space of peace. You know, but you need to get peace with the fact that I was supposed to have this loss. I was supposed to have this hurt, this pain, this embarrassment, this whatever, yeah? When it's your own emotion, that's a negative emotion, or you have these thoughts that are coming from your emotions, yeah? That you're feeling angry, you're feeling negative, you're feeling jealous, whatever you're feeling, negative emotions which are not healthy for your life, yeah? So yes, a person should say, hi, I know you're here, you're valid, you're valid.
This is valid.
You are valid, your emotion, but you're not productive to my life right now, so let me put you on the shelf.
I'm going to have a heavy shell to
And
I'm really cracking at the...
there is time though to deal with these emotions. Cheshbon nefesh, for all seriousness,
Thank you. Yeah.
there is time in Yiddishkeit. Cheshbon nefesh time, before you go to sleep. Thursday night, Erev Rosh Chodesh, Elul. There are times of Cheshbon nefesh. These times are times when we can examine our pnimius, our feelings, where we're holding, all that stuff. We are allowed to, these feelings, your own feelings, yeah? Feelings are valid. I'm human and humans feel this way. It's valid. But in my daily life, this feeling is not productive. Hi, yes, I know you're there. I'm going to put you on the shelf now because you're not productive. I'll revisit you tonight when I go to sleep, and I want to work through my day, and I want to wake up feeling healthy and wholesome, and I don't want to wake up feeling sick again. I will revisit you tonight, 10 p.m. We'll make an appointment, okay?
I think that happens
And
automatically.
people today in our society don't do Cheshbon nefesh properly, and you can do Cheshbon nefesh in a therapist's office if you want. It's the same idea, okay?
If it works.
Because some people can take vitamins and stay healthy, and some people need to take medicine.
Right, absolutely.
You know, and if you take more vitamins, will you not need to take medicine? Possibly, possibly not. Yes, Cheshbon nefesh does help, and there is a time to visit that. However, there are forbidden thoughts as well. Okay,
Not
things
bad,
which you see,
forbidden, yeah.
forbidden. The Torah forbids. Okay, kfira, things which are kfira, and things which are not tznius. This is the Torah forbids. Okay, these thoughts do not have time for them. You need to push them out. In terms of kfira, if a person has a thought of kfira, they push it away. They do, though, can make time to learn Torah, the Torah which will answer those questions, which will make them not entertain so much thoughts to begin with. But from the Torah perspective, you don't take the question when it comes at you.
So when you say thoughts, besides feelings, the only other thing is clearances?
Their forbidden thoughts are kfiritic thoughts and non-tznius thoughts. They are forbidden. Then there are emotions,
Yeah,
which
what we
are
spoke about
feelings
before,
of
yeah.
anger, depression, which are natural, and we all experience them. But it takes control, and it takes, to work on that muscle, to put them on the shelf till their appointed time. When their appointed time comes out, you just deal with them. Stam story. Timmy Rubin is a very nice lady.
Terry.
Timmy Rubin.
Terry is from there. Terry, yeah.
She's in Melbourne, a wonderful lady in Melbourne. She's really, really nice. She's a ballast trova from an amazing background. She's hilarious. She makes people so comfortable. She's just so funny. If you ever get to meet her, lovely, lovely person. So she teaches people about relationships and marriage and blah blah blah. Her and her husband. Her husband's a therapist who deals with relationships. A very, very successful therapist. Deals a lot with not Yidden as well. And she and her husband says this idea in marriage, yeah? It doesn't have to work for you, I'm not suggesting you do, I'm trying to bring the concept, yeah? I'm not trying to tell you what to do, I'm trying to bring the concept. She says, you appoint yourself a day to deal with all your anger at each other. He left his shoes out again, the garbage he's about to take out, he's this, he's that, whatever you're upsetting him about, you write it down on his paper, and you save it for Wednesday evenings. Wednesday evenings, we're having a date to shout at each other. What's the idea? Okay, I'm not suggesting
By the time you get there, it's not anymore.
Thank you. By the time you get there, it's intellectual. It doesn't have the heat of it.
Writing about.
When you get these emotions, negative, anxious, whenever you get emotions, anger at someone, okay, you're valid. Okay, you're okay. Let me write you down. 10 p.m. before bed, I'm going to deal with you. By the time you get to before bed, it's no longer so emotional you can deal with.
It's the same thing they say, don't punish your child when you're furious.
Yeah.
Wait, calm down, and then you'll be able to deal with it in a much nicer way with
There
them and
you go.
teach them better.
Very good. Exactly that. Yeah. Okay. Is it, what time is it? May I ask?
10 to 1.
Okay, we're going to go for 5 more minutes, and then at 5 to 1 we're going to stop and discuss, and then at 1 o'clock I have to get my baby. I'm not exaggerating when I said I've taught this in 15 minutes. Okay, here we go. We're in the middle of the first paragraph. So here we go. I'm going to repeat from the word umava'er, just to read it over on the inside. Umava'er, and the Baal HaTanya explains, Ki koyach nimshach belevushim machashava dibur u'maaseh. There is a power in the levushim, in the garments of thought, in the garment of speech, in the garment of action, leyafos es apnimim, to beautify your inside. Kamoi, for example, muchur mo'oid, a very ugly person, shahalavushim no'im yafyuhu mamish, that nice garments can literally beautify him. So just like you have control on your machshava, dibur u'maaseh, they are levushim, even though your inside might be whatever it is, every person has physically, very physically speaking, even an ugly person has control on the way they dress. Now, when we say dress, we don't just like we have machshava dibur u'maaseh through levushim, we have clothing, we have makeup, we have hairstyle, we have nails, we have creams, we have treatments. There are so many things a person could potentially do if they want to beautify themselves, correct? Correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, yes, some people are created more beautiful than others in your opinion. Beauty, you can decide. But, symmetrical, asymmetrical, whatever you prefer. But, yes, some people are created differently to others, but we all have the power to change our dress, makeup, hair, nails, treatments, to beautify ourselves. Okay? So yes, your pneumius was created in a certain way, but you have choice of to what extent will you go to beautify that pneumius.
Right.
Mm.
Or will you just let it be? I'm feeling drab, I'll just walk out with my t-shirt. It's up to you. Okay. So, an ugly person can literally become more beautiful by changing their levushim. Okay? I don't think the Alter was referring to a nose job about. And he continues. Where does levushim have power? From where does levushim have this tremendous power to beautify the person, whether physically or figuratively? From where does the concept of levushim come from? By the way, everything on this physical earth comes from a higher source above. So physical clothing comes from the concept of clothing, lamaila. Yeah.
Yes.
It's all a lower level.
Yeah.
Our world mirrors higher worlds.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we say levushim, physical
What does it
clothing,
mean?
we mean figurative clothing, we mean spiritual clothing, we mean God hiding himself in the dolls. Okay? It's all the same levushim, just a higher level. So from where does levushim have the power to beautify the essence? Niskar b'soif Mevoi Sha'arim. There's a sefer called Mevoi Sha'arim, and it says there, Inyan Amok. It's a deep concept, full stop. Sorry, ladies. From where does levushim have power to beautify the essence? It's an Inyan Amok. But, one second.
What does chofov mean?
Chulu, etc. But it continues there. Your master, he started with the pasuk from Yeshayahu, that your master Hashem will no longer hide from you. This means to say, this means to say, Sheyiyeh Havaya Elokim. When Mashiach comes, Havaya, Chesed, Hashem's giving, will be Elokim, Teva, nature hiding. Remember we discussed it many times in this year, that Hashem has his Yud Kei Vav Kei, which gives Shefa to the world, which is the creation, the sharing, and then you have the Elokim, which is the same gematria as Hateva, nature, which holds back that Shefa, that Tzimtzum, right? The hiding of Hashem. So when in the future, Yeshayahu was referring to Yemais HaMashiach, and Lo Yikonim, Hashem will no longer hide from you. Hashem's giving will no longer hide in the Tzimtzum, in the Elokim, in the holding back. Meaning there will no longer be Hester Panim of Hashem.
When are you talking about?
No.
Right.
You will see that this is godliness. You will see that we are Kedusha, Neshamas. You'll see some for the Neshama, not for the Levush. The body's the Levush of the Neshama, right? Okay. V'loi yastira halavushim debriya yitzira asiya. Dalet beis yud ayin debriya yitzira asiya, which are the three worlds. The oilamos, the worlds, will no longer hide on Hashem. V'chein morecha. So when Mashiach comes, Yeshayahu in this pasuk, that your master will no longer hide from you, is saying two things. Firstly, is saying that the world will no longer conceal over Hashem. And it's saying, V'chein morecha hamidos v'hamoichin, your emotions and your thought, your emotions and your intellect, and the Knesset Yisrael of the Yidden, lo yisyaveya b'levushim, will no longer need to be touched up by our levushim. When Mashiach comes, who we are, our neshama essence can shine without needing to be touched up by levushim, because we're not going to have a difficult essence anymore. We'll be pure on the inside.
Yes.
So we're free to express ourselves as we are.
Does it depend on how much
Pure.
you work on it until Mashiach comes?
Absolutely.
Right.
But every Yid will experience it just to a different degree.
Yeah.
Every Yid will be expressed exactly as he is in truth. And this suffices for those who
We
understand.
won't have that struggle anymore.
Yes.
The struggle.